Hey everybody, Brooks from Lectron here, and today we're doing an install video with our Billetron 38 on our new YZ250 build. What we'll need to do is take the seat off, take the gas tank off, remove the rear subframe bolts. We're going to loosen the top subframe bolts, rotate the subframe up, take the old carb out, put the new carb in, and reassemble it. So I'm going to go through those steps with you here today. So the first thing we're going to do is take a 10mm socket, and we're going to remove the lower radiator mounts for the shrouds and the top seat bolts. While we still have the 10mm on here, we're also going to undo the lower subframe bolts. So next what we're going to do is take our 8mm socket and undo the rest of the bolts on the number plates. Now we're going to make sure our gas is turned off. We're going to remove the seat. We're going to remove the side plates. Now we're going to disconnect the gas tank. And we're going to disconnect the fuel line from the carburetor. I forgot to mention on the YZs, there are actually 2 more 10mm bolts in here that you have to remove. Next, what we need to do is loosen up the top subframe bolts. These are 10mm. So the final step before rotating the subframe up is going to be to loosen the boot up against the carburetor. So now we're ready to raise the subframe up. If you haven't already, it's a good time to disconnect the wires coming from the carburetor. So now you can see there are 2 Allen screws on top of the carburetor. We've already removed one. You'll want to take the other one out. It uses a 3mm Allen. So in order to remove the factory throttle cable, you're going to take the spring in one hand, collapse it, push the cable down, and then move it over. And it'll come right out. And then we're also going to take this 8mm nut off. So this is actually the Billetron that we've been racing and benchmarking on this bike. And it has the easy tuning kit on it. It makes it really nice. So all we're going to do is undo these top 2 thumb screws. We'll take the top cover out, the spring out, and the slide out. So first we're going to thread the top cover in. Alright, put the gasket back on, put the spring back in, install it in the slide. Then we'll put the carburetor back on. Now what we're going to do is just wrap the ends of these plugs up to help keep dirt and water out. So we're going to take some electrical tape, run it over like that. Another piece, run it over like that. Take a final piece. And we're going to wrap it nice and tight. And we'll do the exact same thing on the next plug. Next what we'll do is take this and just fold it up and zip tie it out of the way. So next what we want to do is look at the Billetron and check the slide height in there. You only want about 1/8 of an inch. If it's any more than that, then you need to adjust the free plane or throttle cable, remove lock nuts, or double check your routing. But you're looking for about 1/8 of an inch. So ours looks good, and we're going to start reinstalling it. Now you just want to snug this up. It doesn't have to be crazy tight. If you over tighten it, it can risk slipping the boot back off the carburetor bell. So to recap where we're at so far, we've put the carburetor back in the bike, we made sure the free play was set right, we snugged up both hose clamps, and we ran the vent lines down by the shock. So next what we're going to do is retighten up the subframe bolts and then reassemble the rest of the bike. So now that the bike's back together, we're going to reconnect the fuel line and fill the bowl.